Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the NW Sportscast. The Seattle Mariners did not play a great game today. They lost 7-3 in New York. Bryce Miller allowing 4 runs on the mound. Not a terrible game for him, but not certainly an amazing one either. And then the Yankees tagged on some insurance runs. Austin Voth, he gave up a 2-run home run to Alex Verdugo, and that sealed it for the Yankees. The Mariners, their lone offensive output tonight came off the bat of Cal Raleigh, who smoked a 3-run home run in the top of the 8th inning. At the time, we were down 5-0. That home run made it 5-3, so a little bit of a game. But then in the bottom of the 8th, the Yankees got the insurance from Verdugo, and that was history. So the Mariners, rough game. Didn't do a whole lot. I mean, there's not much to talk about. I don't have a whole lot to say about Bryce Miller. I thought that he looked fine. I think the Yankees have a really good lineup. Juan Soto and Aaron Judge both went deep as well, I believe, as well as Verdugo. So, I mean, it's just tough with that Yankees lineup. Everybody in that lineup can get you. Every single one. Well, okay, maybe not every single one. But Verdugo can get you. Rizzo can get you. Volpe can get you. Gleyber Torres, we saw that last night. He can get you. Judge, Soto, John Birdie has been having a nice season. I mean, the Yankees are deep. They have a really good team. So I'm not super annoyed about this loss. I think we were never probably going to sweep the Yankees. Would it have been nice? Sure. But, we don't want to expect a sweep every single time. That's just sets your expectations way too high, right? But no, I thought the game was pretty well played. The Mariners didn't give up. Cal Raleigh got that home run. Dylan Moore had another nice game, going 2 for 4 with a double and a single. So good to see him staying hot. And Bryce Miller, he fought. He toiled. He made it through 6 innings, which I think is something that the Mariners have really prioritized right now. Is even if their starting pitchers struggle early, they want them to give them 6 innings, and the pitchers want to give them 6 innings. We've seen this from Gilbert. We've seen it from Kirby. We've seen it from Bryce Miller. I'm sure we're going to see it from Wu probably soon. You never know. And Hancock as well, right? They'll have a rough first couple innings. They'll give up 4 runs early on, 4 or 5 runs early on, and then they end up giving you a strong 6, and their ERA doesn't completely balloon, and they end up walking away feeling fine about what they did. And that was, I think, what Bryce Miller did tonight. Did he do enough for the Mariners to win? Honestly, yes. The offense didn't. That's okay. It's a tough matchup facing a guy in Nestor Cortez who is really, really good. He's a borderline an ace pitcher. A lot of people, I think, would say he is an ace pitcher. He's been really good for the past 3.5 seasons as a New York Yankee. So I'm not mad at all about this game. I do think that it did a little bit expose the bullpen. Once again, we've been talking about this. The low end of our bullpen is just not that good. Right now, we are missing our number 2, Matt Brash. We're missing our number 3, Gregory Santos. And we are missing our number 5, Taylor Saucedo. That is really tough because all of a sudden, I guess Saucedo is probably our 6, not our 5, but because Spire would be our 5 normally. But that means, Munoz is our 1, but now Stanek goes from being the number 4 to the number 2, right? And then Spire goes from being your 5 to your 3. Thornton goes from being your 7 to your 4, which is a big jump for him, right? And Thornton as your 7 is great. Thornton as your 4 is like, cross your fingers, right? I mean, we've seen Thornton struggle at times this year. And then Austin Voth goes from being your number 8 to your 5. And then after that, we've got the last 3 guys in the pen, Bolton, Bizzardo, and Kirby Snead. I have no faith in them at all right now. And so, to that end, the Mariners made a trade. They traded Blake Hunt, Tacoma Rainiers catcher Blake Hunt, to the Baltimore Orioles for Mike Baumann. I think it's Baumann, something like that. It could be Baumann, something like that. I don't know how to pronounce it yet. I'm sure we will know soon enough. But Baumann seems like he is a pretty solid reliever. He just got designated for assignment, but despite that, he has had fine stats on the season. 17 games appeared, and he has a 3.6 ERA, I believe. Last year, he appeared in 60 games for them, and he had a 3.7 ERA. So he's, the past 2 seasons, he's been pretty much a 3-ish, middle 3s ERA guy, and to be fair, he hasn't been a leverage reliever, so he's been putting up average stats as a mid to low leverage reliever, which is fine, right? He's a replacement level mid leverage reliever. I don't think he is as good as a Thornton or a Spire. I don't think we're going to be seeing him come in late in a close game, but I think he is a better option than Kirby Snead. I think he's a better option probably than Cody Bolton, and I think he's a better option than Edward Bizardo, as much as it pains me, because I really liked Bizardo as a prospect. I really liked him last year. He showed us a lot, but so far this year, Bizardo has looked pretty incompetent up there. So my guess is it's probably going to be Bizardo who gets sent down to Tacoma because he has options. Kirby Snead, I don't think has options. I think we would have to DFA him. So maybe we choose to DFA Snead, but the other idea would be to just send down Bizarro. We don't need to clear a spot on the 40-man because Blake Hunt was on the 40-man. So we traded our third-string catcher who is currently starting for the Rainiers, and that means that now our third-string catcher is Michael Papierski, also on the Rainiers. A lot of people are wondering, will Harry Ford be getting called up to Tacoma now that Blake Hunt is gone? I'm not so sure. I think it would be pretty aggressive to promote Harry Ford this early, but he has been really good at AA, so maybe it's possible. I would be pretty surprised if that's the direction that they go, to call Harry Ford up. But maybe, if they want to get Harry Ford in the big leagues by the end of this season, or if they want to trade him at the deadline, then maybe it would be smart to move Harry Ford up to AAA. I'm not sure if a month and a half at AA is enough, but for a really good prospect like Ford, it might be. So we'll see about that. We'll keep our eyes on that tomorrow. But for now, Michael Papierski, who has also been having a pretty solid season with Tacoma, he is now the Mariners' kind of third-string catcher. So if Cal goes down, he would be getting called up. Or, potentially if Sebi goes down, although I wonder if Sebi gets hurt, maybe you just insert Mitch Garver as the backup instead of calling up another, backup catcher. I don't know. But anyways, I do think that trading Blake Hunt away shows that the Mariners are committed to Sebi as backup catcher, because I think the reason that they traded for Blake Hunt initially and then they traded for Sebi a couple weeks later, and I think they did that because they weren't sure who they wanted as the backup, and Sebi had the major league deal, so he was gonna obviously be the front runner, and Sebi obviously did well enough in spring training to earn that job, but I don't think they were completely sold on Sebi Zavala as their backup catcher. I think Blake Hunt was on the 40-man for a reason. They wanted to be able to swap them at a moment's notice, because they clearly were not sold on Sebi, and after his first 4 games, I don't think any of us were sold on Sebi. I believe he was something like 0 for 14 to start the season, but then he had that great game against the Rockies when he got 3 hits and a triple, I believe, and then he hit that home run a couple days later, and for what it's worth, Sebi's only started 11 games this season, 11 out of 50, so he's on pace to start 34 or 35 games. I mean, that's not many games at all. And you don't even have to bring Sebi to the playoffs, right? Because Cal's going to catch every game in the playoffs. If you make the playoffs, he's probably not smart to bring Sebi. So really, Sebi is just there to catch once or twice a week, give Cal a couple of days off when he needs them. He's not there to play a lot, and when he has played, he's been okay. He's hitting over 200 now. He has a home run. He's hit for some pop. He's has some runs batted in. That's great. And so I think the Mariners are finally at a point where they trust Sebi. They are okay with him being the backup catcher, and they're trading Blake Hunt. Now, again, maybe this means Harry Ford has a better chance at coming up this year. Maybe. But I don't really see that happening. It'll just depend, but I really do think that this is going to be Sebi's job as the backup going forward. We don't have to worry about Blake Hunt, and if Cal gets hurt, you're going to see Michael Papierski in Seattle. I don't think Harry Ford is ready yet, but we will see, and if he does get called up to AAA, that would be a really good sign that the Mariners think that he is almost ready, so we will update you if that happens. Anyways, guys, Mike Baumann, he will join the team, like I said, tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow, maybe, because he's in Baltimore, so it shouldn't be that hard to get from Baltimore to New York. So he should be with the team tomorrow, and my guess is that we're going to see Edward Bizardo sent back down to Tacoma. Bowman, at that point, becomes probably either your 5th or 6th option in the pen, depending on how they view Austin Voth versus Bowman. but I think that at this point, Snead and Bolton are your two low-leverage guys, and then Bauman and Voth are your mid-leverage guys. And again, unfortunately, you still have Thornton, Stanek, and Spire doing a lot more high leverage than you would like. Spire's done well, and to their credit, so have Stanek and Thornton, but still, you kind of are looking for that top end of the bullpen guy. Maybe it's going to be Santos when he comes back, or maybe it's going to be a trade deadline, or maybe both, right? Maybe we get Santos back and we make a trade, plus Saucedo, and then all of a sudden your bullpen is fine, you know. But my guess is that if Santos can't come back by August, then there's going to be a trade for a high leverage reliever. I think that's what we're going to go, because Brash obviously is out. All right, that's enough talking about this. I talked about the game for like 2 minutes, and then I talked about the trade for like 8. So if you guys are still here, thank you so much for watching. This is the NW Sportscast. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. And as always, go Mariners.